You're watching Chronicle, New England's only nightly news magazine.
Our top story tonight, all the trade secrets.
And I'm looking at nothing, but I see myself right over here.
Frequently asked questions.
What's it like to work with your wife?
Joys of the job.
You never know where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, how long you're going to be working.
The news you never see. Tonight, a viewer's guide to NewsCenter 5. How the president is covered, the weather predicted, the symphony of reporters, robots, satellites, and stress that brings you the news.
It's like a real giant, very expensive Nintendo game.
The making of a newscast, next on Chronicle.
Tonight, Peter Mahegan, Mary Richardson, with Liz Bruner and Mike Barnacle. Chronicle, New England's nightly news magazine.
Roll cassette 4. Roll 4. Track. Take.
Now, Chet Curtis, Natalie Jacobson, Dick Albert with weather, and Mike Lynch on sports.
The latest fashion statement, what can I say?
This is NewsCenter 5 at 6.
Good evening. Mark Roosevelt is trying to cash in tonight on his strong debate performance against William Weld in the race for governor.
This is what you know about the newscast.
Y'all just trust me and follow me. I swear to God, we'll get there.
This is what you don't know.
See, some people come in to make up their face. I have a little more to do.
I'm standing in front of absolutely nothing, really.
The most nervous I ever get is when I have to anchor with Natalie.
Sorry, I have that effect on him.
Tonight, a behind-the-scenes look at NewsCenter 5.
Car 11, Warren Doolin.
This is the man who gets the ball rolling every morning. Assignment editor Dick Molinari.
I'm part of the process that decides what we cover, who covers it, and when we cover it.
Dick's at the station by 7 a.m., flipping through press releases, making phone calls.
Dick Molinari, I'm calling from Channel 5.
Scanning the wires. By 9, he's compiled a list of stories which he presents to reporters, producers, and management at the morning meeting.
Once the meeting is over and we decide what to cover, then it's my job to get it covered. Okay, what I want you to do is swing over to the Boston Marriott at Copley Place.
Dick has 10 photographers and 11 reporters to dispatch. On this day, he's assigned Jack Harper to cover President Clinton's visit to the Bay State.
When you're a television reporter, the 5 days that you work, if it's 5 or 6 or whatever it is, you pretty much give those up because you never know where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, how long you're going to be working.
Today, Jack will put in 10.5 hours. He'll have reports on both the midday and evening newscasts.
Morning, you're on Candid Camera.
At Framingham High School, Jack meets up with Steve Bailey, the technician who runs News Star, one of Channel 5 satellite trucks. This truck enables Jack to report live. After the Secret Service gives him a once-over, Jack begins the search for his photographer. One of these lenses belongs to a Channel 5 camera. Now, the waiting game begins.
Obviously, we don't know what we're going to have by noon now. This is 9 o'clock in the morning almost. We don't have anything. So that's a major concern. Suppose the president's late. Suppose he's a half hour late, an hour late. Sometimes he is. Or is he going to be speaking while we're on? Will we be allowed to do anything? Sometimes the Secret Service will prohibit us.
Meanwhile, back at the station, Amy Noss, noon news producer, has been in since 4 a.m. preparing for the broadcast. Jim Boyd and Susan Warnick have also been in since 4. Their first broadcast, the 5 a.m. Eye-Opener News. Speaking of eye-openers...
Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.
Are we on?
Hi-ho, it's home from work we go. Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho.
You actually have to be a little looser in the mornings because the hours are so horrible. If you don't have a sense of humor about everything that goes on, you just won't last. President Clinton called? He called. Wants to know what happened to Susan Burke.
Now, the truth of the matter is that, of course, we do not fool around when it comes to the news.
But B, stand by to roll 6. Roll 6.
Massachusetts Teachers Association.
They want to see the top stories, and we deliver the top stories. But when we get to the weather...
Just come here. This is how they dress here in the morning on the eye opener. Say
I was
hi.
late for work. What can I tell you?
Say hi to your mom.
Hi, Mom.
I mean, it's the weather, you know?
Back in Framingham, Jack is 5 minutes away from his first live update.
This is where my day usually gets started pretty bad, because this is when I can have communication with the producers. They start telling me what to do, what to say, where to stand.
Here's how it works.
5 seconds, Jack.
Jack takes his cues from the station. The camera he stands in front of is connected to the satellite truck. This dish sends an electronic signal up to a satellite in space. It then relays the signal to one of the satellite dishes in Channel 5's parking lot, where the signal is finally picked up inside the station.
Stand by to take FS2 audio and video. Take Mike Hugh Jackson.
I think I heard my name there competing a bit with the Framingham Marching Band, but if you look around us, you'll get an idea of what the Framingham High School auditorium looks like right now, the gymnasium, actually. The president is due here, as you say, in about a half hour. Obviously, we'll have reports throughout the morning. It appears though we may be on Clinton time today. The president hasn't left yet, and he's got to go to Framingham. He'll probably be running a little late, as he usually is. Reporting live from Framingham High, I'm Jack Harper, NewsCenter 5, and Susan, back to you.
The update is over, so Jack goes back to waiting.
When I'm 65, I'm going to want back the 3 years I spent waiting. At least 3, probably 5.
It really does amount to years spent waiting out of your life in the news department, Peter. Some days, anyway. As Jack points out, there are real fireman's aspects to this job where you wait and wait for hours, and then all of a sudden the adrenaline rush, and you have to really be up and on for a few minutes.
Well, we've both done it, both worked in news, and you think, you know, like babysitting a jury. That's what I always remember, Mary. Some of those cases where you were waiting days and days and days for the jury to come back.
That's right, that's right.
We'll be back in a moment.
Coming up later, controlled chaos and robots on the roam. Coming up next, what's Dick doing?
This is a picture of a satellite map over New England.
Chronicle is closed captioned for the hearing impaired, with a grant provided by Bull Worldwide Information Systems.
Mike, you're not doing us any favors.
Who says television news is glamorous?
This is anything but a glamorous job. Makeup! I have to go back to my first television job where I was pushing a camera around a studio floor for minimum wage on a split shift. Need I say more?
It's a job like everybody else's job. It's fun. It can be exasperating at times.
What a mess.
Oh, you produced it.
Hey, I didn't send out all the cut sheets in the wrong order.
I think all of us have bad backs, or if we don't have them, we're going to have them. And although they look real heavy, I think they're something like 23 pounds at this point. But you stand there, the other day I did a shoot with Brian Leary, and I was on my shoulder for 20 minutes straight. I mean, by the end of it, you know, I'm walking crooked for about 10 minutes.
And of that 20-minute tape Stan shot, probably about 1 minute will make air. How does that happen? Editing. An editor's day is spent in fast forward, zipping through 20-minute tapes, looking for that perfect shot or soundbite.
Are there any other exercises that she does with the physical therapist that we can use?
And here's what really gets the adrenaline flowing. Deadlines. Find those shots and commit them to tape before the news starts. Otherwise,
everybody else gets pushed up. So you have to tell the director and the anchors, they have to throw those scripts away. Something else has to go in place. You have to move commercials. Okay, are you done? Oh, no. Here's the problem. We're cutting to air now, and I can't possibly talk to you.
Open the anchor's mics, please. Susan, do you hear me? Talk to me if you do, please.
The new news is just moments away. Lucky for Jack Harper, the president has arrived at Framingham High School. Too bad Jack can't see him.
Take effects, one by Q. Susan Reed, camera 3 in effects. Q over, take effects.
Time to think fast. With scribbled notes for a script, Jack delivers his story from reporter row.
Jim, the president is still in the building here. That's why the crowd behind me has been asked to stay where they are. He'll be leaving in a minute.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Over at Brockton High School, Mike Lynch and cameraman Rodney Grace are covering another story.
All right, Pierre. Mike Lynch, Channel 5. Nice to see you. You're this week's High Five. Do you know that?
High Five is Mike's long-running weekly feature praising high school sports heroes.
Peter ran for 413 yards in a football game last Saturday. I don't think the Patriots as a team this year have run for 413 yards total. You think about that. That's up the field, down the field, up the field, down the field, and another 13 yards. That's incredible, isn't it? I think that, you know, this is our way of saying, hey, we are a local station. We cover big international stories, but the local stories are just as important to us.
High five, walk it up!
Hello, News.
It's 3 o'clock. The newsroom is humming.
It's not news. I mean, it was yesterday's story.
Producer Don Maxon's been at this all day.
As far as I'm concerned, the minute I wake up, I'm on the job. As soon as that alarm goes off, you've got the radio on, you flip on the eye-opener news, see what's going on. While you're making your coffee, you're looking through the Herald, you're looking through the Globe.
So what's on tonight's news?
We'll lead with Simpson today, followed by the pipeline fire story in Houston. Clinton holds a news conference.
Natalie and Chet are busy looking over the script, talking to reporters and producers.
What's it like to work with your wife? Everybody asks it. My stock answer is that it is not for everybody. It works for us because we work at making it work. But, you know, it can get a little dicey at times. I mean, you never have a day off.
In trying to be analytical, as I've been forced to because so many people ask me the question, I guess the thing that makes sense is that we were both doing what we do before we were us. Are you all right?
Can I take a breath now?
Yes!
Natalie and Chet have been at Channel 5 for 22 years. And when Dick Albert started here in the late 70s, he was drawing his daily forecast.
That's the stuff, that's the weather that may come in at the end of the weekend.
Today, most of Dick's forecasting is done with computers. And as for his weather report, this is what he's really standing in front of when he delivers the weather.
This is a picture of a satellite map over New England. And if I stick my hand out like this, I can see, well, wait a minute, here's the edge of the precipitation, here's the southern edge I'm heading towards, and if I get good at this, I can really pretend that I'm looking at something, because I can say, well, look, here's the rain all the way from the tip of the Cape, and it goes out all the way to the Gulf of Maine. And I'm looking at nothing, but I see myself right over here, electronically generated in front of a map. That's how it works.
Despite technological advances, a computer has yet to outsmart Mother Nature. But viewers don't seem to be sympathetic to that.
The thing they ask me about my job the most is, do you feel bad when you screw up on the weather forecast?
Well?
Yeah, I do.
As easygoing as Dick's manner is, I know he takes the weather very, very seriously. And his wife, Marianne, tells me there's many a night where he's up in the middle of the night studying the weather patterns.
Well, you have to take the weather seriously. This is New England. He's not forecasting in Florida or California. We have hurricanes coming up the coast. When you forecast bad weather, I mean, money is lost if you're in the tourist business, so I know he takes it seriously, and with good reason.
That's right. The ski people are after you,
right.
The Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. We'll be back with more right after this. Coming up Monday on Chronicle, riveted by the Royals, the inside scoop from London. Coming up next,
If everybody's not playing on the same page, looking at the same sheet music, we can have a disaster.
keeping everyone on the same page.
This portion of Chronicle is sponsored in part by Baybank. Day and night, night and day.
Tonight at 11 on New England's NewsCenter 5.
A mother reportedly confesses to murder. What was her motive? Tonight, the latest live from South Carolina. On special assignment, if you think getting caught in a crowded department store is tough, try shopping with this customer. Our hidden cameras tell the story. Robert De Niro in his next monstrous role. Chuck Kramer reviews Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Plus, you'll warm up to Dick Albert's weekend weather forecast on New England's NewsCenter 5 tonight at 11.
Up next, Showtime. The stories are shot, the tapes edited, the script is written, and Chet and Nat are in place. Time for the director to take over.
3, 2,
Stand Chet by. Up on 2, Mike and Keelan.
The director in there, which you see, I envision as sort of like the conductor of a symphony orchestra.
If Dorothy Will is the conductor, then the control room is her orchestra pit. These are her musicians, and the script, sheet music.
If everybody's not playing on the same page, looking at the same sheet music, we can have a disaster.
Folks, let's not get ahead of ourselves on these kills and changes. We can get, and I no doubt can get agitated, but good thing is no one dies, and we don't have to worry about resuscitating patients. We don't, there's worse ways to make a living.
Dorothy talks pretty much non-stop throughout the broadcast, mostly to 2 key people. The assistant director on her left is responsible for keeping the show on time.
Okay, folks.
Here on her right, NewsCenter 5's version of Mission Control. The technical director has more than 500 buttons at his fingertips. Each one of them punches up a different visual effect.
Roll 5, thanks.
With that, cassette player 5 rolls Mike Lynch's high 5 piece.
But what caught the attention of football fans around the state was the yardage. 413 yards.
Another button punches up the studio cameras.
5-day forecast shows a few showers early Friday.
You may be surprised to learn these cameras are robots.
There are no more people behind the cameras anymore. There used to be, during the news show, 3 or 4 people, 1 for each camera. And now I run them all at the same time from here. I'm not even in the studio.
Careful, it's a killer.
And I do it by touching whichever camera I want to talk to. It's kind of like changing channels. It's like a real giant, very expensive Nintendo game.
He will not delay airing the interview with author Faye Resnick.
Television news is very much a team sport, if you will. It's nobody does anything by themselves in this business.
In the studio, Nat and Chet rely on a floor director. His job, let them know when they're on and which camera to look at. And looking at the right one is important.
To help rain-weary Texas recover from massive flooding.
Nat and Chet read their scripts looking directly into the camera. The device, called a teleprompter, is run by a technician in the control room. But nothing is foolproof. So just in case this electronic version of the script fails, Nat and Chet are supplied with hard copy.
Killer mics in 3, 2, 1, fade it. Okay, folks, we're clear. We're out.
A commercial break. Time for the control room to gather their wits. Chet and Nat take a breather, check facts, and discuss their plans for the evening.
We want to take a shot, we can go. We can take a drive out there.
We try to leave the relationship at the door when we come in here. But it's difficult.
And take a XQ.
Chet, there are a lot of people here at the high school who will tell you it wasn't just for political reasons the president came here to Framingham High.
Out in Framingham, Jack's 10-and-a-half-hour day is just about over.
Reporting live from Framingham High, I'm Jack Harper, NewsCenter 5, and Natalie, back to you.
And that just about does it for this broadcast. But there's another newscast at 11 to get ready for.
365 days a year, 24 hours a day. We might not be on the air 24 hours a day, but there's always something going on.
Gotta go. Take cue. Music under, pull to a 4-shot, stand by to down, and fade to black. Oh boy, we're clear. You can't get much tighter than that. Thanks, folks.
Next job. And there's always another newscast.
It is a 24-hour-a-day job. We'll be back after these messages and tonight's Lottery Live.
and welcome to Lottery Live on 5. Here are tonight's winning Mass Millions numbers that were drawn earlier this evening. It was preempted. They are 2, 4, 8, 21, 39, 49 with a bonus ball of 31. Once again, tonight's winning Mass Millions numbers, 2, 4, 8, 21, 39, 49 with a bonus ball of 31. Lottery headquarters tells us that there was no top prize winner, so you'll have another chance to hit it, but hopefully you won a lower tier prize. Now these wheels have rolled to a stop. Let's see how you did on tonight's daily number game. We are going to start with 0. Next is 8, followed by 1 and 2. Once again, the winning daily number for Friday, November 4th is 0, 8, 1, and 2. Family Matters is coming up next. Have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.
Coming up Monday on Chronicle, English traditions, a royal uproar, and the engineering marvel of the Eurotunnel. Chronicle reports from London. Wednesday, the main streets and back roads of Vermont's Champlain Valley. Thursday, where does Chef Todd English go for good cooking? Would you believe the back of a grocery store? And Friday, who's minding your money? The view from Wall Street.
That phone call was probably for me. Wait a minute, hold on. Yes, I'll be home for Christmas. Thank you.
The satellite loop reveals plenty of sunshine across New England, but those are the Three Stooges.
There's always another newscast.
It's a 24-hour-a-day job for sure.
It all comes down to one night. Will voters choose Kennedy or Romney, Weld or Roosevelt? For the first word on these and other key races, cast your vote with New England's television news leader, NewsCenter 5. More depth, more experience, more analysis. Coverage begins with NewsCenter 5 at 5 and continues with a 94-vote special at 7:30. Then returns starting at 8 and an expanded edition of NewsCenter 5 at 10. Complete election night coverage Tuesday on NewsCenter 5. It's not just the news, it's NewsCenter 5.